Welcome back. Season 2, episode number 2 of the Grounded Brand Podcast.
Yeah, man.
Another day in the studio, and we're excited to talk about a couple things that we learned this last turkey season and just last year in general as far as life goes. I think the things that we're about to discuss can hopefully add value to you, not just in your hunting and being outside, but then also your family life, your spiritual life, every aspect, work-life balance, everything.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
100%.
Yeah. So what the basic topic of today is what we learned in 2024.
Yeah. What did we take from last year that we can look back on, see it didn't work, or maybe we could improve on and implement it this year to make us better hunters, better
husbands,
better Christian leaders,
Better fathers.
better friends,
Yep.
So who wants to start? Brandon, Colton, one of y'all.
You was doing such a good job, Joe. I was going to let you go ahead and lead, but I'll go ahead and talk about it. Here we are in a new year, and one of the things that we're always thinking about and reflected on is what did we do last year that we could always improve on and get better, and that's something I think about quite a bit. And to relate it to turkey hunting from last year, there was actually a couple things that I thought I could get better on this year. And one thing was really enjoying the moment a little bit better than what I did last year. Mm-hmm. Last year was the first year we kicked off the podcast. We added more shows to the spring, and there was just a lot of stuff going on. And I think within that, and the fact that we were so much more busy with sales last year than we were the year before too, I think had played a lot into that as well too. But I don't feel like I enjoyed it as much. And I think there was like I said, I just touched on a few things that I think was the reason for that. But then another thing is I had such a terrible time with missing birds last year that it almost kind of like took the fun away from me because I'd missed so many birds, and it just started playing a factor in my head like, okay, what's going on? Am I going to have this issue every time that we go hunting? And this was with me sighting my gun in several different times and patterning it. And, there was just some elements there I wasn't aware of at the time that was causing the issue. But it really kind of took the fun out of it. And it made it more about the kill than it did about just enjoying my time out there with the people that I was with, and just being in God's creation,
Yep.
And so, just looking back, for one, thing I learned is I'm gonna have a different scope on my gun this year.
Yeah, a different red dot.
A different red dot. It's gonna be the same brand. It's just gonna be a newer model. And
hey, Greg from Meadow Creek, if you're listening to this,
I need that discount
we just
code.
Got you a new sale.
Yeah, man, I need that discount code if you don't mind.
Greg, add another one too, because I got to get a red dot for that new gun.
I'll just give you mine, Colton.
No, that's all right.
That's a true friend right there.
Yeah, exactly.
I think you joked about giving it to me before too.
Yeah, we did.
I think the pinnacle of my frustration with that red dot came in Montana, or maybe it was Wyoming. I can't remember.
That was Wyoming.
Okay.
Yeah, that was Wyoming.
I think Drew and his dad saw a side of me that
I had never seen.
I'd never seen before. And to be honest with you, I don't know if I had ever seen it before. It just kind of showed up, and I was pretty upset with myself.
I thought that gun was about to be wrapped around the tree.
It's got something to do with the altitude up there, I think.
It does, but when you miss a bird that's like 10 yards from you, and you had already missed one earlier the day before or 2 days before.
You had missed two.
I missed
2 turkeys, one in Montana and one in Wyoming.
All right, Drew, you ain't got to pile on to them.
See, I done forgot about that because I'd missed one in Alabama too.
Yeah.
No, I think you missed. Never mind.
Yeah, just keep on adding, Colton. Yeah.
I'm sorry, but
insult to injury.
Yeah.
But because of all those misses, it starts playing with your head and your mind, and you
question.
You do question it a lot, man. And so it just honestly kind of took a lot of the fun out, because at that point you're on a mission to kill the bird. At that point, kind of like redemption, and it really just kind of took the fun out of it for me. But don't get me wrong, I still had a good time, but I just felt like I didn't enjoy it as much as I had before in the past, because I just felt like there was more pressure because I was missing birds.
Yeah. So it sounds like you learned to just really just take a step back.
Yeah.
Kind of be thankful for the moment.
Yep.
try to live in that and enjoy it regardless of making a kill or not.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And you need to practice a little more.
Practice a little bit more and then new red dot. So yeah.
Your red dot. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'll go next. I think I learned that you can't kill a bird if you don't shoot at one.
That's
you
true.
can't miss if you don't shoot at one.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I've talked about it ad nausea before, but Drew and Brandon have been telling me turkey hunting stories for years now. And so when I finally got to go this last year, I had a perception in my mind of what I thought it was going to be.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was going to be going out to a field, sit there, wait 5-10 minutes, and then you shoot one and
Game over.
game over. We're done. And what I didn't realize is how much preparation and how much actually goes into
Yeah.
a turkey hunt. I learned how to make some knucklehead moves and learned how to fix those for next year. But I think ultimately for me, if I can try to provide any value for people, it really is just having the perception and your thought process correct before you go out there. You're going to go out to a field, you ain't going to see anything sometimes. You're going to go out there and you're going to see a whole flock and you can't get any of them to come to you.
Yep.
And sometimes you're going to make a mistake and that's going to end up costing you. I think that's what happened when we were out at the field that one day.
Yeah.
Ended up costing us. But Brandon jokes about how he's glad that I went last year, but he's even more glad that I didn't get anything.
Yeah.
And I'm thankful for that too, because honestly, it taught me a lot my first year. I'm hoping to be successful this next year for sure.
Right.
But I'm glad that I got those experiences. I don't want to say out of the way, but I'm glad that I had those experiences my first year, because now I know. And man, the thing that I'm working towards right now is getting in shape.
Yeah.
So I'm not, because I kid you not, with that one property we went to, I was sucking wind.
Yeah.
It felt like through a straw. And I was just out of shape. And I didn't realize how much hiking we were going to be doing.
Yeah.
And, so I think that's something that I learned last year. But,
Yeah.
I think as a new turkey hunter, you kind of hear stories from people all the time about their great hunts. And, sometimes you don't necessarily hear.
Right.
You don't hear about the 30 times they went out to a field and didn't see anything.
Yeah.
You hear about the one time that
Absolutely.
it was a gorgeous day and God worked it all out.
Yeah.
And I didn't have any of those. I had gorgeous days and I was thankful for the friends that I got to be there with, but I wasn't successful on any of the trips. And having the perception of that being okay, I think is very valuable.
I will say you did learn one thing that you implemented last year compared to the previous years that we've known you, Colton, is that when we invited you, you said yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
You made it
kudos
happen.
to that. Yeah.
Yeah. It's hard sometimes with work because I have other commitments that sometimes, like, I have a meeting that I cannot miss. And
Yeah.
You just learned to miss them.
Yeah.
I just learned
The
to miss
company will go on.
You know what?
Promise.
Yeah.
Oops, I missed it. My bad.
Yep. If you're my employer, I promise I didn't do that. But no, I think that personally, the thing that I learned, and I think we all learned, is
Diabetes pump needs to be on silent.
Diabetes pump.
That's not what I was gonna say, but I was gonna say communication.
Yeah.
But that's another thing. I have unique challenges when I go hunting because I am a type 1 diabetic. So like my sugar can drop at any second, and I need to like eat, and I carry juice with me, and I carried a bunch of other stuff with me this last year. So I have some added things that kind of add to it. Right. And man, I hope you ain't with Brandon when something like that happens to you, because boy, that look that I got was like, you better figure it out or you're staying at the truck.
It had been so long since I really carried somebody new to the woods outside of my daughter, and so it took some relearning on my behalf as well too. That, hey,
you forget what it's like.
Yeah, you do, man.
Yeah.
And just, it reminds me of, I don't know, the times, I guess, when I was with my dad, and he was so patient with me because I know I was breaking every stick.
Was he patient with you?
Probably more patient than I am with Colton. You know what I mean?
Dang.
But I'm thankful that we were able to get you out in the woods.
Yeah.
You were able to experience days where we heard birds.
Yep.
You were
Yeah.
able to experience days where we didn't hear any birds. You
Yep.
were able to experience seeing birds and days that we didn't see birds. And
Yeah.
you experienced how important it is to not move
Yeah.
as well, too.
And
Yeah.
how turkeys will literally act like turkeys. There's
Yeah.
no
Yeah.
rhyme or reason as to why. And the time I'm talking about, we were going to go glass this one field, and it's about a 40, 50 acre field. And I eased up to it before they got there. Sure enough, 2 longbeards out in the field.
Yeah.
I can't remember if there was a hen with them or not. I think there might have been one hen.
There was.
And they're probably center of the field, so 250, 300 yards out there. And Colton and Brandon come up there. We get set up, and I yelp to these turkeys, not super loud by any means, not very aggressive, just 5 or 6 note yelp.
Yeah.
And man, both them jokers throw them heads up, look in our direction, and then they turned around and went the 100 opposite
Yeah, they
direction
did.
from us.
Yeah.
And that's turkeys being turkeys. There's no reason as to why that they did that. They just did that. Some days are like that.
And honestly, to our knowledge, that field that you're speaking of, I mean, from the access point that we came from, I mean, really, you wouldn't think those birds would have had a whole lot of pressure, and that was
No.
kind of later in the season as well, too.
No,
So you would assume that if they heard calling like that and took off the other way, they'd been
They've been pressured by
messed
something.
with.
Yeah.
But that wasn't the case here. So
Yeah.
And even later that afternoon, those 3 hens
Yeah.
stayed out in that field.
Yeah, they came back out.
And
they did not.
the
Longbeards.
the longbeards did not.
So you got some good experience last year.
Yeah.
I mean, you didn't kill anything, but as far as turkey hunting experience goes, you experienced the real deal.
Yeah, I absolutely. And I said it before and I'll say it again. I'm thankful for that opportunity and that experience. That to me is a lot more valuable than just walking out and getting spoiled with being able to kill one right away.
And I hope you learn to set all your meetings moving forward to after 10 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
No lie.
After 10 and before 2 is when I learned how to do that. So no, I think when it comes to that, it's just the stage of life that I'm in, it's really hard to kind of break away sometimes, but I'm thankful because you guys said, hey, you at least told me a week before sometimes than you did, 2 hours before.
I mean, a lot of times we don't know. Hey, we're going, all right, weather change. We going in the morning.
We might have a meeting get canceled where we got an extra hour in the morning to go hit up. We'll take our lunch break early.
Yeah, what I learned is my calendar needs to be Brandon's calendar because it sounds like he's got all the time in the world.
Yeah, and that's not the case. I just had the flexibility of being an outside sales and a sales manager. So
yeah, for sure. So I think for me, that was probably the biggest thing that I learned this last year.
Nice.
far as
I think
turkey.
that's something that you can apply not only just to, hunting, turkey hunting, but life
Yeah,
as well.
absolutely.
So some good experience.
all right, Drew, I've been waiting on this all morning, man.
Well, I hate to disappoint you because mine was not a tactic or something to change in the field, a different way to call the turkeys, a different secret call that I learned about to kill more turkeys.
I'm sure we'll learn something this year that we'll share on a future episode.
Yeah,
for sure.
Probably so. But mine honestly was very similar to yours and is more about not taking everything for granted and enjoying the moment. There was a post that I saw online. I'm going to pull it up real quick because I'll get it wrong. My season, I didn't get to hunt as much as I normally do. I knew that we were taking a trip out west to Montana and Wyoming. And so since I knew that, I did not hunt around the house as much. I knew I'd have that time off of work. We added the Raleigh show in there.
Yep.
So didn't have as many days to burn. So I just didn't hunt as much around here, which means the number of turkeys that I killed last year wasn't, I would say, an average or normal year for me.
Right.
And that kind of took a lot of the fun out of it.
Yeah.
For me and not killing. And it made me think back and say, okay, well, am I doing this because I just want to kill something and post a picture?
Yeah.
Or am I doing this because I enjoy being outside? I enjoy the hunt.
Right.
I hunt with my dad probably 95% of the hunts
Right.
that I do go on. And am I enjoying the time that we get to spend together? Mm-hmm. And this post that I saw, it was from 21 South. And Toby, I think you did a fine job with this. He posted in December. It says, "Stop seeking validation from a world that crucified a perfect man." Mm-hmm. And, you know, for me, not having those turkeys that I kill was kind of a validation from other people in a certain way.
Right.
You know, and obviously that did not happen this last year. And that was something in the moment I let get to me.
Yeah.
You know, you see your other buddies killing turkeys, even missing turkeys, and
Yeah.
you can't get one close. You know, you're not going like you would necessarily like to go as much as you would. And it, just like missing a turkey, man, it messes with your head.
Yeah.
And then you start to compare yourself to somebody else.
Yeah.
And I did that this last season. I regret doing that this last season, but at the same time, I don't regret it because it's going to make me a better person.
Yeah. 100%.
You know, and it's something that you can translate to other areas of life, you know, whether it's going to Lincoln's baseball game or going to watch Kennedy at one of her recitals,
Yeah.
or getting to spend time with my wife or anybody else in my family or friends. Mm-hmm. Just, we need to be thankful for the time that we get.
Amen.
And just enjoy it and live in the moment and not compare ourselves to somebody else.
Right.
You know, Colton, just a minute ago, you were talking about seeing everybody's turkey that they kill, but you don't see their bad days. You basically, you see their Instagram highlight reel of life.
Yep.
And that's basically, you know, what you're comparing yourself to is somebody's best days.
Yep.
Yeah.
And we don't need to do that.
You know, you bring up a good point, and I think this is just a life lesson that I learned in 2024 too. I would say, you know, I've worked in social media for years, and I kind of got to the point really about 2 years ago where I was just tired of social media because really and truly, I do believe this. I think that it's caused a lot of negative impacts in society. I think that, you know, we only post what you want people to see.
Absolutely.
And usually that's when you're at your best moments and everything like that. But so what I've done, literally, I think in the last 3 years, the only posts that I've made are like posts of, I think I've posted like 3 times on my Instagram or something in the last 2 years. And the reason for that is because I just learned there's so much more to life than what you see on your feed. And when you keep looking at your feed, you end up missing out on life. And you can start to compare yourself. You know, comparison is the thief of joy. And I've just gotten to the point where, like, you know, I care more about like what you two think of me than I do anyone else online.
I wouldn't put too much weight in that either.
Well, that's fine. You know what? I was gonna say, and I left it out, but now I'm gonna say it.
Yeah, say it.
Last year I learned that when Brandon says, "Hey, let's go this way," you go the complete opposite way. So you ain't got to.
That's exactly right. We both tried to talk him out of it, and he was not having it. So.
That's what I learned. No, but no, you know, I think that's something else that I learned, and I try to live that way. I try to make relationships with the people that I'm closest to more important than stuff online,
right?
In comparison, that's just a quick soapbox moment for me, but you know, I think it applies to the hunting world as a whole too. You know, you do want to celebrate those moments, like, you know, Lincoln with his first deer, and stuff like that. Like, you absolutely want to celebrate that. That's a huge moment in his life and your life as the father and stuff like that. But yeah, being careful not to compare yourself to others is a huge part.
I think so often we are built, I mean, in general, and as far as life goes, you learn more, you grow more when you fail. Because you pay attention more, and you obviously don't want to do that again most of the time. And I think that some of our greatest memories are when we fail.
And 100%.
Thinking back to some of the most memorable photos or videos or whatever that I personally have in the woods or hunting, fishing, whatever, I think back to a day in Texas, and it was me and my dad and then our buddy Dan that had invited us down to his place to hunt with him. And I just literally crack up because this is turkey hunting or any type of hunting, more so towards turkeys. We're all standing there, and we're all pointing in a different direction because we all were trying to figure out which way this turkey was.
Yeah.
You know, and it's one of those moments that's hilarious, you know, and it's so true it happens. But, you know, it's not, we didn't have a turkey over our shoulder.
Yeah.
You know, we weren't standing there, me and Dad, side by side, holding two turkeys we had just doubled on.
Yeah.
Like, those are great memories.
Yeah.
But the one where we're all sitting there arguing over which way this turkey is, or we didn't hear a turkey, you know, those are the times that are the most memorable.
Yeah.
Surprised Brandon wasn't in that photo.
Yeah, I really am too. Because
Well, I mean, the first
Brandon's got them old man ears. I swear.
I mean, I hear fine. I just can't hear what direction is coming from. And I think Drew and I's first hunt together, we had that play out, that same scenario.
We
play out.
recreated that
did.
photo when we were shooting the hybrid
I
pack.
forgot about that. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
I still think there was 2 birds that day.
No, I know there wasn't. But yeah, so all in all, I mean, 24 was a great year for us. We're very thankful for it. We had ups and downs, we had failures, we had success. But for me, enjoy the moment.
Yeah.
Be thankful for the time that you get in the woods.
Amen.
And live in that amount of time that you get.
Yeah, yeah, and I'm excited. You know, this year in the past, probably the last 6 or 7 years, I've been fortunate enough to be able to go hunt a different state. Mm-hmm. And you know, we hit up on Carrie Beth and I having a baby in February, so my season's going to look a lot different than what it has been in the past. And to be honest with you, if I don't get to go anywhere outside of Alabama or Tennessee, I'm going to be fine with that.
Yeah.
Just for the simple fact that, you know,
It's a new stage of life for you again.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And, you know, hopefully because of that, I can get Bailey out in the woods a little bit more than I did last year, even though we got to hunt more last year than we had the previous year.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And I've really started to enjoy those moments. I know I talked about maybe not enjoying it as much last year, but being able to carry Bailey with me last year and the amount of times that she was able to go with me and the amount of activity that she was able to see compared to the previous year where she only went one time and was able to kill a bird. This year she went probably 7 or 8, heard birds gobbling just about every time, was able to see birds. And, you know, this year she didn't want to pull the trigger on one, and that's fine. But just being able to spend time with her more last year was very rewarding for me, even though when I was out by myself, I may not have enjoyed it as much.
Right.
So I'm looking forward to whatever this season has to offer, seeing what that looks like. So
Yeah. Yeah, for me, I think this year, you know, I'm just continuing looking forward to being able to go. You know, kind of, it's my second year, so I'm really hoping that I get something this year. If not, though, you know, I'm not going to be sour about it. I still think that it just makes the opportunity that when I do get to harvest one even better.
It will, man. So it will.
and I hope that we're both there to see it.
Yeah.
I
Well,
think that would be cool.
Yep.
I hope I get invited.
You ain't got to worry about that.
Well, you know, in years past, I don't know.
I won't forget.
Now it might be the last day, but
Man.
I'm just kidding.
God, man, I felt so bad that day.
I know exactly what day you're talking about when you bring this up.
I did. It was one of those last minute decisions. Drew and I decided to go on a hunt together.
Uh-huh.
And like you said, you hunt with your dad 95% of the time.
Yeah.
And so when we do go hunting together, it's usually the last minute or the night before we're making a plan to go do something.
I want to give people context because, like, you guys live in the same neighborhood.
We
Like,
do.
You
We
can
live
see
like
each
4 or
other's
5
houses from each other's house. Yeah.
So it's easy for us if we the last minute decide we want to go on a hunt, we're able to do that. And with Colton, it's not as easy for him to break loose, obviously, as well too. But anyways, yeah, man, we'll go to Tennessee. Drew, you want to go? Yeah, man, I'm down to go. So, and I joke with Drew because sometimes when we go hunting, it's either, hey, we're setting the woods on fire. These birds are burning down the woods because they're gobbling so much and the activity that we see, or it's just like nothing.
Yeah.
Not a gobble, nothing.
Feast or famine for us.
Yes.
You
it
talk
really is.
about you talk about perception though. I only hear the ones where they're burning down the woods.
Yeah.
They got them surrounded.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, anyways, we hit this place up one morning, and the first place we went to, speaking on missing birds, I forgot about even missing this bird.
For real. I did too.
I mean, that's how we started the morning out. I missed a
Yeah.
bird. We called 2 of them right in on us, and I missed it, and
Oh, man. Yeah.
that started, well, you
That
know
was
the rest of
not
the
good.
story. But anyways, we hit another farm up, and dude, they are lighting it up as soon as we get out of the truck.
I mean, like literally, we get out of the truck, have not even opened the back door of the truck and heard turkey gobble.
And it's like 9 o'clock at this point in the morning.
Yeah.
And we get up on the bird, get up on top. I mean, within an hour, we had a bird down, and there was 2 of them that came in. There was 3 total that came in,
Yeah.
and just the way you were positioned on the tree, there wasn't a way for us to double.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so after that, we get down to the truck, and more birds gobble across the farm. And Drew's like, let's go. I'm like, let's do it, man. So he ended up killing a bird. What's funny is I took a picture, sent it over to Colton after I killed my bird. Colton didn't know we was even hunting together.
No.
And Drew, after he kills his bird, he sends a picture. And Colton's like, dang, man, both of y'all killed a bird. And then we take a selfie together with both birds. And Colton's like, no way. And I was like,
I forgot all about that.
yeah.
I think if I remember correctly, Brandon, you sent me the picture, and
Yeah.
I was like, let's go. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And then I said, where did you go? And like, were you with anyone or were you solo? And then you guys sent me the picture of both of you with a bird. And I was like, that morning too, I wasn't doing nothing.
Yeah.
I had nothing going on. I didn't even get a phone
But
call.
to be fair, that's normally not the case. You usually have something
Yeah.
going on
You-
every morning.
I know, I do. Usually the position that I have at the company that I work for, I have a lot of meetings. In fact, when you guys came over to the house not too
Yeah.
long ago, I showed you my work calendar and
Yeah.
I showed you how many meetings I have. And it's a good thing and it's a bad thing at the same time.
Right.
Absolutely.
It's great job security.
Yeah.
It is awful when you're trying to go turkey hunting.
That's right.
But yeah, so listen, no hard feelings. That's in 2024. It is a new year.
That is behind us.
If it happens in 2025,
Yeah.
we're gonna have some issues. But no, ultimately, like I said, it's one of those things where I'm just grateful for the time that I did get to go, and especially spending it with you two. That was a great time, and your dad,
Yeah.
and Doc. So
Yeah. I remember that. I mean, the one time we went up to that farm twice, and I just knew we were going to smoke a turkey. It
Yeah.
was this one place I had saved. There's always turkeys
Yeah.
on. It's pretty easy farm to hunt.
man,
The
gassing
neighbors-
me up the entire way there.
I know, like the
there's
neighbors-
never not a turkey there.
The neighbors really pressure them around this piece of property, and so it's like almost
Almost like a sanctuary for them.
yes, because I don't go in there and pressure it, and most of the time when you go in there, just knowing how to hunt it,
Yeah.
it's knock on wood pretty easy,
Right.
And I had saved this spot all year, had not been up there. Landowner or other guy that hunts up there, deer hunts, has been running his cameras and telling me got these 2 longbeards on camera together every
Yeah.
day, the same spot, and I had glassed them and watched them strut from a distance. We go up there, didn't even hear a turkey.
Didn't even nothing.
And then we went back a second time, right?
Well, who was
We
wearing?
did.
Who was wearing
And didn't
out that-
hear a turkey.
Well, somebody was wearing out a call.
Yes,
time
one of the
there.
neighbors over
Yeah.
there that morning was just sitting
On the
there
back- on the
yanking on
backside
a
of the
box
field,
call,
yeah.
man. Just yanking on a box call. And that's why those turkeys
They're
stay on there like
right.
they do, because of the neighbors. And
Right.
it's great for me,
Yeah.
most of the time,
Right.
when they gobble.
yeah,
But we didn't even hear the
it's
turkey
great when
gobble.
I'm not there.
Or when anybody's not there.
Yeah, yeah,
You can add that to your highlight reel.
I will, 100%. No, so we learned a lot in 2024.
Yep.
We kind of hit on the last episode the things that we got going on for 2025, and when this releases, I think when this releases, it's the week of NWTF.
Yep, should be.
It should be.
Yep.
And so, Brandon, future
Enjoy
you's
being at
got
home.
future you's got a baby right now.
Wow, that's hard to think about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here we are.
Yeah.
We'll
Look at 'em.
be thinking about you as we're working our little fingers off.
I
Yeah.
was thinking, how could I add value while y'all are up there at the show working away? And I'm thinking, we get a lot of orders that come in while we're at the show, so maybe I could just go ahead and get those boxed up and shipped
Yeah,
out.
that honestly would be great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
And our customers would enjoy that too, because most of the time we
There's a
carry
delay.
not all of the inventory, but we carry most of the inventory with us, and there is a delay by about 5 or 6 days at least.
and nobody's home to pack them up and ship them. So
Right. So, yeah, you might get your order out a little early. So,
maybe.
Yeah.
No
benefit.
promises.
Say thanks, Brandon.
No promises.
Yeah. Well, you'll be up at who knows what time at night, so you
Right.
can get it done then.
That's right.
Yeah. No. So NWTF, coming up here in a few days. So if you're listening to this, come see us in Nashville
Yep.
at Opryland. We'll be there. We'll have everything set up. We'll have the hybrid vest. We'll have the original Bottomland impact vest 2.0 up there.
We got some new shirts we came out with back in the fall too. That'll be there. Our camp shirt and our performance shirt. They'll be available there.
Yep.
What else?
We'll have a bunch of stuff this year. Every
Got
year
a few
we
new
keep
hats coming out with.
every year keep growing. I'm really excited about the setup that we have this year.
Yeah, it's gonna be a little bit bigger, different layout. I'm excited about it.
A lot more room for people to come in and like look at things for a while. You're not just standing in an aisle,
right,
and everything like that. So it'll be good.
Mm-hmm.
So you remember the booth number?
It's 1400, but I don't remember I think it's 1400. I don't know. Right
that's okay.
We'll be sure to put it on.
It's in the
social
very
media
first room where you have to buy your tickets, and then everybody enters the same way. It's in the very first room.
So it'll be in the office. It'll be in the same room that Mossy Oaks always set up in.
Yes. Yep.
So we'll be there. Be sure to come see us.
Yep.
All right. Anything else? Say what?
Episode 2.
Season 2 in the books.
Mm-hmm.
All right, guys. Well, this has been episode 2. So be sure to check us out on the website, groundedbrand.com, and come see us at NWTF. As always, we're on social media, Grounded Brand Outdoors across all platforms.
Yeah.
So be sure to share our stuff when it comes out. And also, the other thing I wanted to shout out, if you go on the website and you're not signed up for our newsletter already, I would highly recommend that. You can actually sign up for text messages now and newsletter. If you sign up for those, anytime we release a new product or we have a new sale going on, we reward those people first.
Right.
They usually will get the discount code sometimes like 3 days early.
Right.
When we have a sale. So I would highly recommend, if you guys are super loyal fans, like we know you are, especially if you're listening to this, and you are not signed up for the newsletter or text messages, go do that. Because that will get you access to even more that we have.
Even
for
new
you
product
guys.
releases. I mean,
new products,
whoever signed up on the email gets a first look at that before it goes out to social.
Yeah, when we released the hybrid vest, the hybrid pack, we actually sent an email to all of our newsletter subscribers 4 hours early.
Right.
So they knew what was coming.
Yep.
And then we released to the general public at noon. So would highly recommend that. Just wanted to throw that out there.
Yeah, for all those people that hit us up on the side wanting to know what it is that we got coming out, sign up for the newsletter.
I told them all. I was like, just sign up for the newsletter. You'll know early. Exactly. Because that's just another way we want to provide value.
Yep.
And we don't bog down your email by any means. You're not going to get a ton of stuff from us. So anyways, this has been season 2, episode number 2.
Yeah.
So thank you guys for listening. We'll catch you guys in the next one.